Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima, and I am here checking out Dungeon Hunter Alliance. I don't even know if this video is going to go up when this did happen, but a few days ago, Dungeon Hunter Alliance was actually delisted from the American PlayStation Store, so I figured, well, what better time now than any to go and have a quick look at it. I have actually played this game a bit before, but I don't have my save file for it anymore, which meant I had to go make a new one, which was kind of unfortunate for me. So, I've been playing this for about 3-ish hours at this point. The game doesn't give you a specific clock as far as I can see, so yeah, 3 hours sounds about right, and I'm currently stuck on the Bandit's Lair. Yes, stuck. You heard me right. Turns out, a mage versus the bandit in the Bandit's Lair, not a very good idea. My fingers just brushed against my keyboard. Not that much to see in the options. We can see that you can auto-transmute stuff, which means you just get rid of the items of that grade and lower for gold automatically. You can turn the combat text on and off, the sound volume, and also all your manual stuff here. But it's nothing that anyone who's ever played a dungeon crawler game before doesn't already know, I should say. There is something called the Pit of Trials, but apparently you need to get to level 29, not 29, 25 to get to that. Which seems entirely unnecessary. Also kind of entirely unnecessary is that, oh man, here we go. So, also kind of entirely necessary is that I've actually been getting nothing but shit loot, so it's going to be very hard for me to actually demonstrate this game well to you guys, because the game makes it so that if you're in a group online with other people, you will get better items. I have played this game online. I wasn't able to try it out for this video's purposes, but I do remember it working pretty well. I also remember having a much easier time with the game because, as it turns out, having 2 warriors to cover your ass while you shot someone down makes the game a lot easier. But yeah, we'll just go and play single player, but yeah, the online multiplayer does work pretty well as far as I can remember anyway. Yes, I did make a guy called Dix just because I needed to remember if the other characters were the same as the one I was playing, and turns out, yes, they were. Loading times aren't great, but the areas are procedurally generated, and you will spend a fair amount of time in them once you do load the game up. So it's not as big of a deal as you might think. With that said, though, I am a stickler for loading time, so this is the worst thing in the bloody world. Oop, no, there we go. That was probably really painful, I'm sorry. So, here we are. I'm not going to bother doing the menu diving just yet because it's all pretty basic stuff. And I can't be bothered. So let's just go and actually fight dudes. So this is Dungeon Hunter Alliance. I'm just going to zoom the camera out. The camera has this annoying tendency to not remember how zoomed out you wanted it to be in the first place. So you end up just in a situation where it's always in really close, and in order to, oh dear, just fire off my area of effect attack as much as I possibly can, and I'm immediately dead. Oh, that went well. Well, nope. I keep forgetting that I have to press circle to... I keep forgetting I have to press circle because, you know, like Japanese, Vita, crap. But yeah. The game is actually surprisingly difficult as a mage because, well, finding good equipment for a mage is actually really hard. And turns out trying to attack a game where most of the dudes are close range dudes is just a bad combination no matter what way you swing it. You of course get items. You press R to pick them up, which is a bit of a weird button to pick up items with, but what have you. You do your main attack with the X button, and the X button will fire off an attack. You have multiple different items you can use, but they all have the same, well, not so much the same main attack, but there are some that are slower but do more damage. There are some that are faster and do more damage. I actually have an example of one of the weapons that are slow and does more damage for my class. Of course, different classes can have different items, but yeah, as you can see, that doesn't work very fast, so I should just pull back and just snow the fuck out of these people. And of course, I have to shake my Vita to get out of a stun, because screw you trying to keep your cord plugged in. You do also have multiple special abilities like spells and stuff that you can use via the square, triangle, and circle buttons. You only start out with one, which is kind of annoying, and you can only have 3 at a time, although you can press a button to swap your palette, which means you can have a maximum of 6, which is not the best considering the other sort of dungeon crawlers we have on this platform. If you press the L button, it uses a potion, and the potions just bring everything back. There's a page which just tells you a little bit about the world and the lore. As you can see, I'm being attacked from a long distance here, which means I have to dodge it. It's all very basic stuff. What are the other controls? You do have the fairy, which you move around with the right analog stick. And if the fairy hovers over a specific place, it might start glowing. And if you manage to put it on the right spot, you can dig up an item and a special crystal, which you can take back to a specific merchant in the main town in order to get a special set of equipment. Which is not the best thing in the world, but it's okay. It takes ages to earn the crystals you need to actually pull it off, though, so it's unfortunate. I'm using potions like crazy because I have to, because I'm a mage. That's kind of the problem with this game's balancing. I mean, like, I have a spell which is meant to slow people right the hell down. Also, yes, you take environmental damage when you walk over fire. Also, look at my gold right now. Satan will be very upset. I'm not a very good devil. Heal up real quick. I've even got a heal spell, and it's still not enough to save me from the amount of damage these guys dish out. I'd like to say it's because the game is kind of screwing me with items, because it kind of is. Oh yeah, cutscene for you, by the way. Not very much in the way of detail of these cutscenes, I gotta tell you. The story is very basic. It's literally just a dark fairy has taken over the queen, and you need to go and kill her because you brought the queen back after she died from sudden illness, and that was what let her get taken over by the dark fairy in the first place. So, yeah, of course it's your job. And that means just beating the crap out of everyone you come across, more or less. I've seen worse dungeon crawler plots. Just look up, what's his name? Oh yeah, new stuff. I wonder if that's actually no, we'll leave that for just a little longer. People hate how I menu dive right away. Okay, apparently you can't smash those ones. But yes, the looting gameplay is very basic as well. It's all very predictable, which is kind of the problem with these games. Gameloft is known for making games that are basically just rip-offs. And I mean that in the most literal sense of the word. They are all literally rip-offs of big popular titles. Like, this is obviously the Diablo side of things going on right here. They also did Asphalt, which is basically Burnout, more or less. And there's a bunch of other games they've done as well. It's a shame, because Asphalt's actually alright. I mean, at least some of the older ones were. The Vita one, not so much. But, yeah. And this is really just a gigantic ripoff, and it's so just open-ended about it. I'm so open and like it's just like, yeah, we're a ripoff. So what? The problem is that the ripoff isn't particularly good. That's kind of the thing. Gameloft seem to make games basically by committee. I don't know if that's the right way to put it, but they just seem to have this unique ability. I guess I already alluded to that treasure chest. That's kind of unfortunate. They just kind of have this weird... Oh yeah, you can also move around the fairy with the back touch, and she's also got a spell, but I'm saving that. You can... This is just what they... Oh shit. This is just what they do. They just make these boring games, and they basically make it so that they're the most generic things imaginable, because they don't take any risks. They don't like to do anything cool and see if it works. They want to make a game that's so indistinguishable that they just want to make a game that's so bloody indistinguishable from whatever it is that they're trying to copy, that they'll sell as much as possible just based on just based on the bloody looks alone, which is one of the more frustrating things about games like this. Because... Right, I forgot. Venomous spider. They can shoot poison at me, because of course they can. What's the word? The thing about Game Loft is it's just they're really disappointing, because they obviously have a bunch of talented people working for them. It's obviously, like, not robots making these sorts of games, despite what you might seem to think. It really does feel like that someone somewhere put some effort into making these games work like this. I'm just gonna work my way around, come down here and get myself immediately beat half to shit by like 10 dudes. I'm just gonna kill you while I can. But seriously, other than maybe like this little fairy thing going on here, this doesn't really change. It's not like it even really changes. It doesn't do anything outside of the usual dungeon crawling formula whatsoever. It's really just... It really is just dungeon crawling. That's basically it. It's no frills... nothing special whatsoever dungeon crawling. And I guess some people can just take it for what it is. Me, personally, I have a lot of trouble with that. That's a special shrine. It just gives you a bunch of abilities for a few seconds. It's, nothing too out of the ordinary. That's a very common thing in Diablo 2. So the base gameplay itself is just the same repetitive chain. It's just kill people, get their loot, take the strongest loot that you have on you, rinse, repeat forever. And at that it does... God, how do I even... It's not really... What's the word? It's just not really that good at it. I'm gonna have to do my bloody menuing very soon, aren't I? Right, just avoid them. Two of them coming at me at once, not a very good thing. Just freeze their bollocks off. So they can't get me as fast, and we're done. And that's a trained hound. Okay, this will be the final treasure chest. I don't even get that much good stuff. I get a keeper's ring. Alright, so I think it's time to do our leveling and a little bit of an explanation of how all the other systems in this game work. So if you hit select, this will let you come to your character sheet, and this is where you also come and get your power-ups, your quests, everything. So you've got 4 main stats. Strength is for your warriors, dexterity is for your rogues, energy is for your mages. No, that's literally the 3 classes you get, and they all basically play, well, not the same. Obviously, you have to play it a little bit differently, but it does feel like pressing the same buttons in the same way over and over again, because it's a dungeon crawling game. If you go to your inventory, you can see all the weapons and stuff that you have. I'm kind of happy I bought that staff, actually, because I need the power up. And it looks like that it's actually got more HP per kill and more damage on everything, so that's actually pretty good. I might equip that. You can carry around 2 sets of 2 weapons, and there's also stuff you can have in your left hand. But since I'm not a rogue or whatever, I'm not focusing on my dexterity. You can level up and actually get like the stats into your not normal stats. So if you wanted to be a mage who carried around a bloody Golden Dog, you'd be more than welcome to. The problem with this game's loot is that it's not really very interesting loot. It's all very passive and generic, which is kind of unfortunate. I can actually hit square to auto-equip stuff, which is nice. It's all 1.6 MP regeneration and 4 armor. Right, yeah, so it's all very basic stuff. It doesn't really do anything particularly fun or interesting. Ooh, +1 to all attributes. I will put that on my left. I keep forgetting I have to press circle, damn it. It's all very basic, +1 to everything, +1 to particular things. Just, yeah, not really that much going on. Like, as you can see, The gold stuff is the best stuff you can get right now. You can also get red stuff in the Pit of Trials, which is apparently better. But, yeah, as you can see, none of this is particularly interesting. Hell, this loot doesn't even feel like it scales with my level very much. I mean, look at this. 41% chance to push back, plus 2 endurance, 59 per kill. But this only requires level 4, and I got it in a level 9 area. I don't even know what the deal with that is. So it doesn't really feel like a particularly interesting loot system, I'll put it that way. You can get skills, of course. Every time you level up, you get 1 point, and you can assign a point to learn a skill, passive or active, and you can put them into your particular favorite. However, if you get a new skill and you want to try it out, it will mean paying a lot of gold to respec, or, you know, paying just like 1 skill point at a time and slowly working your way up. So, yeah, it's kind of annoying like that. I kind of wanted it to be like Diablo instead, where you get all your skills, but then you just upgrade them as you go along. That would be nice. Well, no, not Diablo 2. Didn't Diablo 3 do that? I think it did. You do also have fairies, which do things like damage and all that, and you've got quests and side quests to do, and they've all got their own little cutscenes and stuff like that. It's nothing particularly out of the ordinary. It's just, it is very basic. This is a very basic dungeon crawler in every sense of the word. Now, if I remember correctly, I can just, I go up, and that's where the bandit boss is. We're gonna go try and beat him. However, I had very little luck beating him last time, so actually beating him this time might not be entirely possible. Thankfully, the game doesn't penalize you for dying, so yeah. Might as well talk about the other minor things, like, for example, the performance. You can see that the performance is actually quite terrible at times. It's not great when the game just suddenly decides to lock up and just skip a couple of frames and you can't get out of the way. As far as I can tell, there's nothing in the way of dodging, so there's no way to actively avoid some attacks. This sucks when you have to fight a boss like the bandit guy up here, because if you have to fight a boss like the bandit guy and you can't get away from him fast enough, you are screwed. Obviously, warriors and stuff won't have this problem. There are also a couple of other minor things that annoy too, like the way that enemies will evacuate. If they're too far from their spawn spot, like, did you see that? That's happened a couple of times already, but seriously, they just turn and run, and they will get all their health back if you don't stop them, like, literally immediately. And it's the most frustrating thing in the world. I'm just going to beat the crap out of him. And of course I take a stun hit right at the end there. Just heal up a fair bit. Get a quad shield apparently. I'm not going to be able to make any use of that, because that's not my class. I could probably take along like a bloody orb and a shield or something like that. But yeah, it's just... It really doesn't feel like it's had very much love put into it all. It's got no original ideas of its own. The looting isn't particularly great. It's there, and it does work as expected. It's just a bit dull and uninteresting. Much like everything else about this game, as I said before, the story is really simple, and it's really hard to care about it. There we go. Just beat the crap out of him a bit more. Hopefully he doesn't run away from this distance. And he's dead. To be fair, I could probably go and get to level 10, and that might actually provide me the stat benefit I need to go up against this guy, but... Well, this video is already getting on 20 minutes of relatively samey stuff anyway. There's very little in the way of side quests or interesting side areas to find. I've found one so far, and from what I remember from the later game, it just gets worse and worse in that regard. You'll get a bunch of side quests, and then you'll get basically none for the rest of the game, which is kind of unfortunate. It sucks, really. I've always been of the opinion that Gameloft have had a lot of potential. I need to go buy a potion, as you can do that back here at these statues. I'm gonna have to spend a lot of gold for these potions, though. Not the biggest fan in the world of that, but we will give this a shot anyway. And I'll give you a little bit of a sample of what the writing in this game is like, which is not particularly great either. At least it's not horrible gibberish. I'll give it that. This game is not horrible gibberish. Blue Maxima 2017, 5 years after it came out. Yep, that's basically it. It's... I mean, I would say that's not entirely fair to the game. It is a little bit more long-winded in the other parts, but, I mean, really, that's not the worst. That's not the worst demonstration in the world of it. Just gonna hit that guy I can barely see out of the camera. See, I had to zoom back out again, just as I was saying. It's just the tiny things, man. When you have to play a dungeon crawler like this, it's every little tiny thing that can possibly go wrong is a potential problem. Just because of how long you're going to be spending playing the game, so even the... Oh, bloody Christ. And I'm dead. Sounds about right. Unfortunately, I have to watch the cutscene again, but thankfully I don't really have to. I can just hit triangle and immediately skip it, which is good. And most of the guys I already killed stay dead. Unfortunately, when you anger the poor innocent boss, he is quite annoying about the whole thing, and he actually spawns a bunch of his own dudes to come and wipe the floor with you, and you can actually trigger him from off-screen. God's sake. I hate having to shake to get out of that bloody thing. Because it means I might pull the cords out of this Vita by mistake. Great. Go up this way, because, yeah, if I remember right, there's a bunch of dudes up here. Looks like I might actually get to level 10 without having to worry about going and leveling up in the other corridor, which would be nice. And of course the fucker ran for it because I got too far from his little lovely place of loveliness. Don't even know what that means. See, here comes everybody else. Just gonna get a potion down. Yay, I'm level 10. Please tell me I have something that can help me with this. I could level that up, but that wouldn't help me out very much. The chance to stun enemies attacking you with bonus armor. Yeah, I will actually take that. And I will... Oh. Oh, okay. Alright. That just gives me a straight armor boost. Here's the boss. See, the game just stutters, and suddenly out of the woodwork comes literally everyone ever. And I got stuck in the middle of the fucking crowd, because of course I did, and I'm probably going to die really fast. You're like, see how little damage this guy takes? And I'm dead. Yeah, that has happened to me pretty much every time I've gone up against this boss. There is legit no way to take care of this guy if you're a mage in any reasonable way without going back and grinding on the same areas, which are as boring as ever. Maybe getting some better loot and coming back and... Speaking of which, let's just level up my energy. More mana is always good. Look at that. Look at that. Just they come out of bloody nowhere just to piss you off. And there's the Bandit Prince, who apparently was in the middle of the fucking field or something. Judging by how quick he was to react to that. Just gonna do this. And, yeah, immediately get torn to pieces. Yes, awake sire and fight. Right. I should probably show off how the fairy spell works as well. It's not a very good thing. Move around that thing, because that is actually a floor trap. A very cheeky floor trap. Is he just going to be alerted to me every time I show up now, or...? Yes, he is apparently. What the hell? That's not good. That means I have to deal with all these goddamn archers and shit while he's around just trying to beat the crap out of me. And of course, they aren't affected by their own traps. Because fuck me, right? Take out some of these guys that are chasing me. There are, of course, bosses, and they are all very basic bosses. I'd love a dodge key in this game. Like, why did they have to, shit. Why did they have to... I can't get away from him? I mean, I'm able to get away from him now, but once you get him down to half health, he goes into rage mode. And when he goes into rage mode, he can literally just chase me down. Because he's just so inhumanly fast, he's just able to chase me down without any real issue. And it just makes this boss a real pain in the neck. Not to mention when he does that attack there, that makes him even faster. And it appears that I can't even slow him down with my ice, which means I'm just kind of screwed. I just have to run around and... yeah, wait for that. And then he does his super attack again. I just have to sit and wait. Because I legit can't do anything else, because if I try and stop and heal or anything like that, I just get a face full of special attack. See, my camera's gone and zoomed in again. I'll be able to get him down to half health at least. So annoying that I can't, like, stun him or slow him or anything like that. Dumb as hell, honestly. Run away. I've been looking for a... ooh. Apparently I got a hammer that I can't use. Annoying as hell. Probably can't use. Heal up. Here comes the attack again. He's about to go into rage mode. There's no way. Yeah, there he goes. See? Now that he's in rage mode, he's going to chase me down, and there's going to be nothing I can do about it. See, look. See how fast he runs? He can and will catch up to you if you let him. See, look at this. I'm barely just outpacing him, and he got me when he was barely even touching me. So, I'm just kind of screwed now. See, I just took all my health in one bloody special attack. Yeah, that's it. I've had enough. Oh, that's so frustrating. I guess I just have to go and grind. Get better loot. Get higher stats. Come back and... I don't even know how that would help. Maybe if I just had to... maybe if I just put more into that bloody armor stat or whatever, but... really annoying shit. So, that was a look at Dungeon Hunter Alliance. It's a really generic, and by I really do mean generic, dungeon crawler with a lot of niggling problems. And considering that games like Demon Gaze are out, or even games that, if you have a real focus on the loot, play a game like Shiren the Wanderer, which has a ton of stuff related to loot and, you know, grinding your character to become better. It's miles ahead of this game. If you are absolutely desperate for the generic dungeon crawling experience, only pick this up as a last resort because, well, there's better games out there that'll scratch this sort of itch. And considering that you'll only be able to pick it up via physical copy now, that means that finding it at a price that's going to be even remotely reasonable will be quite hard, because... well, it's time for me to do a little bit of a rant. Bloody... people who are collectors of games, who don't actually play the games, have apparently settled on to getting Vita physical copies, because Vita, they didn't print very many Vita physical copies, so yeah, good luck with that. I hate those sorts of people. They don't even play the games. They can't appreciate them. I realized I forgot to show off the fairy. You literally just tap the screen twice and just the thunderbolt comes down. It does fuck all in the way of damage, so there's really no point in showing it anyway. Yeah. This has been Blue Maxima, and I will see you all next time.